Welcome to another Adobe Script tutorial. We'll do some more work in Photoshop. This time, combine images with a master image and save the result of each. But I want to back up to the code for tutorial 6 instead of the last one, because the last video was a detour in response to a user comment about saving images as PDF. This tutorial will return to processing a folder of images and saving copies of each. To start, I've copied the code from Tutorial 6 and made the title Tutorial 8. But before working on the code, this script needs a master document that each image is combined with. For my example, I have a picture frame. You'll need to set up your own master, something similar. The idea is to put each image into the frame. This requires an alpha channel to use as a mask. I'll use the magic wand to select the interior of the frame and expand it 1 pixel to avoid a sliver of white showing on any edge. Save the selection as a new channel named Mask. Then save the image, but keep it open. Now for the code. First, some new script variables. var bounds, var docmaster, var mask, var mask C, var mask H, and var mask W. I'm declaring these at the top because they're calculated once and won't change as each image is opened. So we'll get the mask values now and do some other setup. First, none of this works unless the master document is open, so make sure an image is open. If not, app, documents, length, then nothing is open. So alert, open the master document, and return. Otherwise, continue the setup. Disable dialogues now, because we're about to load an alpha channel, and if dialogues are enabled, the Load Selection dialog appears. App, display dialogues, equals dialog modes, no. Next, we need to work in pixels, not inches or other units, or the results are all messed up. App, preferences, ruler units, equals, units, pixels. Now assign the active image to the variable docmaster. Docmaster equals app active document. Next, get the mask into a variable, because we'll need it a few times. Mask equals docmaster, channels, get by name, mask, and get its position and size. This is the bounds of the mask, which we can get by loading it as a selection. Docmaster, selection, load, mask. Then, bounds equals docmaster, selection, bounds. This is an array of 4 numbers: the left, top, right, and bottom of the selection. From that, we can tell its width and height. Mask W equals bounds 2, the right edge, minus bounds 0, the left. Likewise for the height. Mask H equals bounds 3, the bottom, minus bounds 1, the top. Next, calculate the center. Put this in an array of 2 numbers, the x-coordinate, position across, and y, the position top to bottom. Mask C equals, brackets for array, bounds 0, the left edge, plus mask W divided by 2. Then a comma for the next array element, bounds 1, the top edge, plus mask H divided by 2. Put the division in parentheses so it happens before adding. That completes the setup. The process function is okay like it is, but since we disabled dialogues already, we don't need that again. so remove it. The process file function is where the remaining changes go. We're not adding a text layer this time, so remove the variables layer text and text item. Then add some variables we'll need instead: var docwork, var layer layer C, var layer H, and var layer W. These are similar to the variables we set up for the mask: the center point, the height, and the width. Comparing these to the mask tells us how to scale and position the image to fit inside the mask. We don't want to alter the master document, so make a duplicate of it. We'll assign this to the variable docwork. Docwork equals docmaster duplicate. That's what we'll modify and save. Next, remove the code for making a text layer. In its place, make the file just open doc, the active document. App active document equals doc. And flatten it. Doc flatten. Because if it's layers, the rest won't work right. Don't worry, we won't save it that way. Just copy the one layer from it. The lines for resize image we'll use, but a little different. The idea is to scale the image to fit into the mask. Instead of 800 by 1200, replace with the mask dimensions. Scale H equals mask H divided by doc height. Scale W equals mask W divided by doc width. But unlike before, we want the larger of the two, not the smaller. So change math min to max instead. Doc resize image is the same as before, but do it always, no matter what the scale is. So remove the if statement around it. At this point, the image we've opened is now the right size and a single layer. Copy the layer to the work document. And while at it, assign the layer to the variable layer. Layer equals doc layers 0, duplicate docwork. The object is the one layer in doc on which we're calling the method duplicate with one argument, docwork, the destination for the layer. The next steps are altering the work document, so make it active. App active document equals docwork, and make the new layer we just copied the active layer. Docwork active layer equals layer. Now calculate the layer center point. This is just like we did earlier for the mask. Bounds equals layer bounds. Layer W equals bounds 2, the right edge, minus bounds 0, the left. Layer H equals bounds 3, the bottom, minus bounds 1, the top. Again, for center, use an array of two numbers, the x and y coordinates. Layer C equals bounds 0 plus layer W divided by 2, bounds 1 plus layer H divided by 2. With that, move the layer to center it in the mask. Layer translate. Mask C 0 minus layer C 0. Mask C1 minus layer C1. The two arguments are the x and y distances to move the layer. First is how much across, the difference between the mask center and the layer center. Second is the same, but the distance up and down. Now the mask and layer have the same center. Last is to mask the layer. Load the alpha channel for the mask. Docwork, selection, load, mask. And use that selection to mask the layer. But I'm not going to put that code right here. I'll make a function for it. Not because we need to call it more than once. That's not the only reason to put code in a function. It's also helpful to have functions that perform specific tasks. Then it's easy to reuse them in other scripts. And masking a layer is something you'll likely want to do again. I try keeping my functions in alphabetical order, so they're easier to find. This one I'll put before process. Function, mask layer, no arguments. I'm not going to walk through each line of code, rather just paste it in. This is from Script Listener, a way to capture the steps of doing something in Photoshop as you actually do it. How it works is beyond this tutorial, but leave a comment if you want a video about Script Listener and using it. For now, grab this code from the finished script file at the link in the description. This function masks the active layer using the current selection. Now back to where we were in the process file function. Next, call the new function, mask layer, and the image is ready to output. But first, one little tweak. Let's add to the file name, just before the extension, framed, so we know what these images are. It can be confusing when input and output files share the same name. This way, it's clear what is what. We won't save the opened image assigned to doc, like we did in the earlier tutorial. Instead, save the work document. So update the call to save as to doc work instead. And last, in the finally block, close the work document. Doc work, close, save options, do not save changes. That's it. Now let's go to Photoshop. Make sure the master document is open, then run the script. Choose a folder of images and an output folder to save the results. Click OK, and the script gets to work. When done, have a look in Bridge. And there it is. Pretty cool. Subscribe so you're notified of upcoming videos. And like this one if you found it helpful. Also, leave a comment. What topic shall we do next? Add your ideas in the comments. All suggestions are welcome. Thank you for watching.